Hello, everyone. Amy from the Wakelet team here. Fantastic to see you. Hope you enjoyed that latest session previously and are feeling nice and decompressed, ready for another day of learning. We're kicking off today with a fantastic session from two incredible speakers, both from India, Kamal and Samar. They're going to be sharing about a Wakelet case study and about they took from Selfie to Sanctuary and how they fought against plastic. So before we get started in that session, just want to shout out to a few of you who are in the chat. Hi, Cheryl from Georgia. It's been fantastic to see you getting involved in the sessions in the chat. So thank you for joining us. Marit there from Finland, Chang there from Malaysia. Yes, 8 p.m. in the evening there. So the decompression is towards the end of your day, which is nice. And a lot more of you there. Hussein joining there from the UK. Hi, Hussein. Fantastic to see you. Just to remind you before we get started, we'll share out all of the resources that speakers share. You'll also have an opportunity at the end of the session to fill out that link. So you'll get your certificate of attendance along with all of the resources that have been shared as well. So keep an eye out for that link towards the end of the session. We do, of course, have a competition running throughout the week. We love to see all of your comments in the chat, but also afterwards or during, share what you think of the session as well. Share your ideas on social. Use that hashtag Wakelet Community Week. And yeah, you'll be in with a chance of winning some awesome prizes throughout the week as well. So that's all from me for now. I'm going to bring on our two amazing speakers, Kamal and Samar. Hi, how are you both?
Hi, Amy. We're doing good. And thank you so much for having us over here so that we can share our case study for handling plastic in our school and in our community. With me, I have Simar, who's led the team, one of the teams that participated in the project. Simar, over to you.
Thank you so much for the mic pass, Miss Kamal. Hello and warm greetings to everybody who's tuning in from around the world. My name is Simar Mohanty and I'm the team lead and student coordinator of the SDG Warriors. And today I'm super duper excited to share the journey of me and my team and what all we have learned from this project, which is covering one of the most global monsters of the world, which is plastic. So let's begin. Over to you, Miss Kamal.
I'm going to pop in the backstage area. I'll just pop your screens on now. So everyone should see that now, that screen. And yeah, I'll be backstage looking through all the comments and all that good stuff. So yeah, just shout me if you need me.
Thank you so much, Amy. So let's get started. So hey everybody, I'm Kamal Preet. I'm the mentor to the STG Warriors. It's an after-school STEMness club. Prior to this, I was working as a middle school science teacher for the past 12 years at a leading public school in Bangalore, India. I'm super passionate about everything STEM, SEL, the UN SDGs, and gamification. And today we'll explore a project that ignites a global movement against plastic pollution. Students embark on a selfie scavenger hunt and use Wakelet, a collaborative platform to become environmental stewards. This project tackles a pressing issue and equips students with the tools to make a difference. Respecting your time and the fact that there are so many amazing sessions lined up and there's also a competition, let's dive right in. So, what's there on the agenda today? We'll first break down the project step by step from the teacher's perspective. We'll explore everything from the selfie scavenger hunt to creating a digital resource collection. Along the way, we'll see how Wakelet integrates with various tools like Adobe Express, Book Creator, Canva, Genially, and Microsoft Flip. Next, we'll jump into the project as students see it. We'll wrap up by sharing project resources and answering your questions. Now, plastic is everywhere, from our water bottles to our clothes. That's right. It's convenient, sure, but it's wreaking havoc on our planet, and we need to take action and fast. But how do you get young people to care? Here's the key. They love selfies, right? They use them to express themselves and connect with friends. So, what if we flipped the script? Instead of focusing on themselves, they can use selfies to expose a hidden enemy, plastic pollution. This project is a selfie scavenger hunt, or should I say scavenger hunt with a twist. Instead of perfect poses, students will capture the plastic lurking in their everyday lives. By sharing these selfies, they'll become hyper aware of just how much plastic surrounds them. It'll spark curiosity, conversation, and a whole lot of ew plastic moments. This way, a selfie goes from me to we need to ditch that plastic. Now, think of Wakelet as a digital UN for students around the world. Here's why. Just like the UN brings countries together, Wakelet lets students from anywhere work on projects, share ideas, and learn from each other. No matter where you are, you can be a part of a global team. Remember how the UN works towards solution? Well, Wakelet lets students do the same. They can gather information from all angles, sort it out, and build a project that everyone agrees on. If there is a web link to any resource, you can surely drop it in Wakelet. That's how easy it is. It's like creating a global agreement, but way cooler. And just like the UN wants everyone to share knowledge and make the world a better place, Wakelet lets students do that too. They can share what they know about environmental issues and brainstorm solutions, like a digital plan for a healthier planet. And the UN gives countries a platform to speak their minds. Well, Wakelet empowers students to do the same. They can advocate for environmental causes, raise awareness, and inspire action in the communities. It's their chance to be the change that they want to see. And here's the coolest part. Imagine each Wakelet project is like a UN resolution. Students from different classrooms, just like countries, they work together on a global issue like plastic pollution. They research, discuss, and curate information using Wakelet's tools. Then they present their findings and solutions, just like the UN. It's all about working together to make the world a better place, just like the real United Nations. Ready to embark on the 13-step Wakelet adventure with your students? Well, here's a sneak peek. Step number one, students break the ice and introduce themselves either by creating a card in Adobe Express or recording the video introduction in a flip video. Step number two, they delve into the world of plastic, exploring its history with a captivating timeline, which can be created either on Canva or in Adobe Express. Step number three, they hit their textbooks to differentiate between the two main types of plastics, capturing their findings in an infographic. And with that, they are now ready to unlock the mystery of the plastic resin codes, those cryptic numbers hidden on plastic items. So, if you were to just flip any plastic item, you would be able to see these resin codes which tell you about the type of plastic. Step number five, armed with all this theory, students are now ready for their favorite part of the project, the selfie scavenger hunt, with a mission to capture 10 plastic items lurking in the environment. And they then use the recycling code on each plastic item to identify its type. At least three different plastic types have to be documented on an interactive Genially. Talk about a reality check. This activity will spark curiosity and a whole lot of you plastic moments. Now, it's time to get critical with step number 7. We spark a lively debate with a Q-focused question, a different one for each team. Students will have the chance to research, form their arguments, and then showcase their stances using eye-catching Adobe Express creations. Imagine the sparks flying as students present infographics and mini documentaries to support their positions in an Adobe web page. Step number 8, bioplastics. Friends of home, we're all about the science here. Next, students explore the world of bioplastics and understand how they are made. Are they a total win or is there a catch? Remember that not all green plastics are created equal. They crack the code on plastics versus bioplastic versus bio-based plastics versus biodegradable plastics versus compostable plastics. Who knew there were so many? And spoiler alert, knowing the difference can be a real game changer. Step number 9, they use this knowledge to create oh gosh, they use this knowledge to create some bio-based plastics in their kitchen, documenting their experiments on flip videos. And who knows, our student scientists might invent the next big eco-friendly material. Step number 10, the 3 R's: reduce, reuse, recycle. We're all aware of it, right? They are passé. Students search the internet for the 7 R's. These are our weapons for conquering plastic pollution. This allows students to use each R to become responsible plastic consumers. Now, it's time for students to channel their inner eco warriors and unearth eco friendly alternatives to everyday plastic items. Think reusable water bottles, shopping bags, and food containers. The possibilities are just endless. Step number 12, students will demonstrate their comprehensive grasp of plastic pollution through an interactive and intellectually stimulating activity. Hmm. They harness their critical thinking and inquiry skills to create a 10-question quiz on platforms like Kahoot, Quizzes, Microsoft Forms, or Google Forms. This exercise not only reinforces the knowledge but also encourages them to engage with material in a dynamic and participatory way. And step number 13, it's now time to think outside the box. Students curate at least 3 ingenious ways in which the world is tackling plastic pollution. They share the discoveries in a collaborative book. Imagine a future where plastic pollution is a thing of the past, and that is what the SDG warriors are working towards. Now, let's hear it from the students. I'm super excited to welcome Simar on stage. She'll present her team's final project, showcasing their innovative solutions and the creative strategies for tackling plastic pollution. Let's see the inspiring work that they have accomplished together. Over to you, Simar.
Thank you so much for the mic pass, Miss Kamal, and hello to everyone again. My name is Simar, and today I'll be presenting the work that our team had done for this project. So I've shared my screen. I wonder if you can see it. It's my Wakelet collection. Aha, I can see that you can see it. Okay, so firstly, let's meet the team. We remix the templates which are available on Adobe Express to create our own About Me graphics, which perfectly gave a peek into a few of our favorite things as well as a little bit about ourselves. So over here, you can see who is my friend Anagha Kashyap, who is my friend Dhriti, who's my friend Isha, who's Janya, and who am I? Next, let's move on to the topic. We'll start with the basics. Now, plastics are materials which are composed of large molecular weight organic substances. Now, they are essentially polymers of long carbon chains which give them their unique properties. So, that's how we defined plastics. Now, as you must be knowing, to know about anything's present or future, it is crucial for us to trace its footsteps of the past. So, our team delved into the timeline of plastics, looking at its history and tracing its development and how it has developed in the modern world, right from the early days to its years in the 1800s, followed by the 1900s, and then how it is now. Now, there are two main types of plastics as we have learned in our textbooks: thermoplastics and thermosetting plastics. Now, each type has its own distinct characteristics and applications, as you can see beautifully illustrated in this graphic that one of my friends designed in Canva. So, for example, thermoplastics are the ones which soften on heating and set on cooling every time, whereas thermosetting plastics are hardened on heating. Some examples of thermoplastics are polythene, PVC, and nylon, and some examples of thermosetting plastics are bakelite and plastin. Okay. Now, moving on. Now, as we delved in deeper, we found this graphic from the internet which told us that there are 7 types of plastic resin coats. The first one is PETEE, the next one is HDPE. We have PVCU, LDPE, PP, PS, and other kinds of plastics. We see these resin codes printed on any sort of plastic material, whether it is bottles, lunch boxes, cartons, etc. We see it printed on there, and based on the code, we can identify what kind of plastic it actually is. So, that is something quite interesting that we learned. Now, that made us wonder that how many types of plastics can we find in our own rooms? So, to answer that question, we pulled out our phones, put out our biggest smiles ever, and took a selfie with all the plastic items which are present in our rooms. So, you can see that here's my friend who has taken a photograph with a bottle, a plastic folder in which she kept her important files of the school year, her lunchbox, and other items. Over here, you can see that my friend has taken a photograph with an exam pad, her pencil box, and also some felt tip pens. And there are many more examples over here. And that is me. I have taken a selfie with one of the games that I have at home because I love playing games. Now, based on that, we decided to identify the plastics based on the plastic resin codes which are printed on these plastic items. And we mapped out all the different kinds of plastics using Genially. So I'll just share that screen over here. Okay, so I hope you can see it. Yeah. So over here, we use Genially to identify the kinds of plastics which are found in our rooms. So over here, when you click on the item, you can see that what kind of plastic it is. For example, when you look at a felt tip pen, it is made up of polypropylene. Now, it is used in butter and margarine tubs, clear fresh soup, containers, some bottle caps, glass jar caps. Can it be recycled? Not generally recycled, and you should check your local area for more details. And what does it look like? We'll shatter into stripes if compressed, and then caps will usually be too hard to flex. So here is some information about the felt tip pens. You can find out more information about the pencil box. It is PVCU, and the exam pad, which is polyethylene tetraphthalate. Now, in my other friend's room, she has identified that the pen is made up of another kind of plastic. It has the resin code 7. The folder is made up of, again, PETE. The plastic scale is made up of polystyrene or styrofoam. Then the reusable water bottle is made up of polypropylene. The food container is made up of, again, polypropylene. And her t-shirt, which is again a kind of plastic, a synthetic material, it is made up of PETE. And then lastly, in my room, you can see the dish shooter is made up of high density polyethylene. The game controller is made up of other kind of plastic, and the easel is made up of polypropylene. So this was a great way to learn more about the things which is found in our room and how science can actually be found everywhere. You look at one item and you can distinguish it even more, and you can link it to the different components of chemistry as well as the syllabus that you're studying in school. So it's everywhere. So now I'm coming back to the tab. So now you can look at the reflections. We reflected upon more questions that should single-use plastic be banned or not. So over here, we did a deep analysis and developed Adobe Express pages to answer these questions and writing our answers on each of these. So for example, I've written about plastic pollution. Should we be concerned about the plastic pollution crisis in our oceans? Yes, we should be aware about our surroundings, especially when it comes to the things that we produce, like plastics. The ocean produces over half of the world's oxygen and absorbs 50 times more carbon dioxide than our atmosphere. And if we ignore the plastic pollution that is continually happening today, the next thing that will happen in our community is suffering. Similarly, I answered more critical questions like, could we end plastic production entirely? Could society survive without any plastic at all? Who is responsible for plastic pollution? Individuals who buy it or companies that make it, and why? And what are some of the ways in which you could reduce your use of single plastics? So now, after that, we differentiated between plastics, bioplastics, bio-based plastics, biodegradables, and compostable plastics, which is again beautifully illustrated in this graphic over here. Next step was to prepare bioplastics from our kitchens, and personally, this was my favorite thing ever. So, did you know that you can prepare bioplastics using the ingredients just present in your kitchen? So, over here, what one of my friends did was take some cornstarch, which is a kind of starch, and then used it to prepare a bioplastic. And then she recorded a flip video showcasing what she had done and how did she prepare it exactly. So in this video, you can see that she's stirring the cornstarch. And I'm just going to skip it a bit. And you can see that a thin layer of bioplastic has been prepared. So this was a great way to understand that how you yourself can make these kinds of plastics. The next thing was understanding about the 7 R's, which was our pledge towards the environment. Number one is to rethink. Be mindful of your consumption, your relationship with things, and your relationship with the earth. How can you do that? You can do that by following the 7 R's. Number one is to recycle, close the loop, and remake. Number two is to refuse. Don't consume what you don't really need to. Number three is to reduce. Reduce the consumption of energy and materials. Reuse. Share with others. Find new uses for old objects. Repair. That is, fix or upgrade your objects rather than throwing them away. Re-gift. Share and be the part of the gift economy. And lastly, recover. Energy and materials for recovery, and then upcycle. Next, what we did was to find some eco-friendly alternatives to plastic items, because plastic is literally everywhere. How exactly do you replace them? So we found this graphic over here. We can't find all these products in our home, so we had to pick some graphics from the internet. So you should choose these, like a reusable cup, a bamboo straw, reusable bottle, a bamboo toothbrush, and a canvas bag, which are reusable items instead of the regular plastic items that you find in your stores. Then we prepared a collaborative quiz on plastics. Now, generally what happens is that it is very easy to answer questions. You are given a question and the only thing that you need to do is to answer it. But what about the art of forming questions itself? The difficulty that our teachers have to go through to ask the right questions in order to test our thinking. Now that is a real challenge, and we students got to experience that particular art by forming questions ourselves for our classmates, and we prepared a collaborative quiz on plastics. Now, one of the other teams had done it on Kahoot, and it was super duper fun to play. It was competitive and everybody was cheering to move on to the leaderboard. However, mean, I wish we had done that. But what we had done was prepare a Google form using all the questions that we had. So over here, you can see the form that we have prepared. How much do you know about plastics? We had asked questions like, plastic recycling is a circular economy, true or false? Now, biodegradable plastics are eco-friendly, yes or no? So like that, the people can answer these questions and can test their knowledge based on what they had gained on this project. Lastly, what we had done was curate a book of solutions using Book Creator. Now, this at last was the most important part, because understanding about the problem is a first step, but then knowing how to solve it and having such solutions which everybody can implement easily in their lives, that is what truly matters, taking action. So we prepared a book of solutions. I'll just share this tab. Yeah. So these are some innovative solutions to plastic pollution. So over here we discussed about mushrooms, we discussed about plastic eating bacteria, we discussed about compostable seaweed straws that can be eaten after use. Quite interesting, right? Seaweed instead of plastic, and many more such solutions that you can implement. Now, these are some of the things that we had done. Our team was number one, and other teams had also given their bit, that is their own solutions. So we all had this collaborative book on solutions that everybody can implement based on the materials which are accessible to them. So this was a great way to curate our learnings. So I'm just going to go back. And yeah, that's about it. That was what we had done. And now I request Ms. Kamal to go back to the presentation slides. All right. So here's what I learned from the project. I was super excited and starry-eyed looking at the skills revolution. Um, Here's what I learned from the project. It's not just about taking selfies, even though it can seem really fun and really cool to do. It's really not about just taking those. It's more about giving us essential skills for the 21st century. Some of them include number one, digital storytelling. Now, this is a crucial skill that we students need to have for the future. We got to master the art of creating impactful stories about environmental issues, and think of making documentaries, infographics, and presentations that really grab people's attention. Data visualization is again a must for the future. We learned how to turn data into something awesome, like you've seen in the graphics that we made. So you can make infographics so that you can display whatever data you have collected in a clear and engaging manner, because not everybody has the time to look at all the numbers and texty data. um, Next, what we learned is collaboration and teamwork. Working together on the Wakelet absolutely helped us in building our communication skills and teamwork skills, and these are super important for anything that we will do in the future. And lastly, we learned about critical thinking, right from writing those blogs on Adobe Express. When we answered those questions, we critically delved in deep into all those questions. For example, one of the questions was that, um, is plastic pollution really caused by only us as the consumers, or is it because of the people who sell these plastic items? So that really helped us to delve in deep and reflect upon ourselves, that is it really our fault, or whose fault is it? And later we understood that it is everybody's fault. And while everybody of us might be involved in contributing to the plastic problem, we can also put in our effort into stopping this crisis and destroying the plastic monster. Um, so we dug into the plastic problem, came up with solutions, and learned how to advocate for change. Critical thinking is a superpower, and we're all about using it for good. And Wakelet really helped us to become well-rounded, engaged citizens who are ready to tackle the real-world challenges. So now we invite you to join us in this fight for a plastic-free future. A Native American proverb says that we do not inherit the earth from our ancestors, we borrow it from our children. So, Wakelet empowers students to become not just consumers but creators of change. And that's what we STG warriors are all about, to be the change that you wish to see in the world. With the simple selfie and the collaborative power of Wakelet, we students can embark on a journey of discovery. Unmasking the plastic problem, exposing the hidden plastic lurking in our everyday lives, we can ignite a movement by sparking conversations and inspiring others to take action and building a sanctuary for our planet, where we can imagine a world free from plastic pollution. That's the future that we all can build together. And together, we all can make a difference. Passing the mic back to Miss Kamal.
Thank you, Simmer. Thank you for such an amazing presentation. So, if you here's what you need to do next. You can start your free Wakelet account. It's easy and free to get started. Uh, join the uh, Join the Wakelet educator community. Connect with other educators using Wakelet for environmental projects. Download the Wakelet implementation guide. It is Get a step-by-step guide to using Wakelet in your classroom. Together, let's create a future where plastic pollution is a thing of the past. And remember that you can download all these resources, everything that's been shared over there, over here in this presentation. It is available as a template to help you get started right away. So, including the project which was completed by the students, that's been shared, and whatever templates have been used, whether they are Adobe Spark templates, Canva templates, Genially templates, all these are there for you to get started right away. And also, the book that was created in Book Creator, it is available as a remixable. So what are you waiting for? Okay, do look at those resources and join us in our fight against plastic pollution. Thank you, everybody, for joining us today. If you have any questions, we are here for you.
Thank you so much, Carmel. Thank you so much, Samar. I think everyone was so impressed by the project as a whole. I was really impressed. I think it really encapsulates all of those amazing key skills: the collaboration, the creativity, the critical thinking. I love that the journey you came on, Samar, with your peers, in not only understanding and kind of or figuring out what the problem is, but you truly took it a step further and understood the different kinds of plastics. You understood how they're formed. You really did that deep dive into it so you could form a well-rounded opinion and thoughts on how you can make change in the future, which I just found really impressive. And seeing you, lots were making comments about all of the different tech tools that you've been using to showcase your understanding and learning. I love the Genially. I think that was a really fantastic way to combine that scavenger hunt that you did, and then pick out, because we don't think about all of the plastics in our everyday. We don't always think about the fact that they are all around us and what we could use as alternatives in lots of ways, which I think that's really powerful. You can then look back at it. So thank you both so much for sharing those ideas and for sharing the templates as well. I've made sure everyone has the collection. So everyone make sure you check out the collection with Kamal and Samar's resources in there. They have kindly put together some fantastic templates, and the way, Kamal, you have set this up is it's a step-by-step. You've got broken it down into a full project, but you can break it down into smaller activities. So I urge everyone to go and check it out, because from what I've just seen, it looks fantastic. And as I said, it encourages students to learn more about the plastics around them, and what they can do to combat that as well. So thank you both so much for joining.
Thank you so much for having us and for allowing us to share our project with you. Okay, we're looking forward to having all of you join us and starting your selfie challenge. Okay, so let's go on a selfie scavenger hunt. I'm sure children are going to have so much of fun.
I love that. Thank you both so much. Any final words just before we jump off for today?
Simar, do you want to have the final word?
Sure. So, what I'd like to say to everyone is that you have the power to be the change. The first thing that you need to have is the power of curiosity. Question everything around you, be curious, and you'll find out there's so many wonders present around you. And if you just take a moment to acknowledge and delve in deeper into the things which is present just next to you, you'll be able to get to know better about your world, and then you can think about what problems that the world is facing, and then later come up with your own solutions. Each one of us has the power to question things and to be the change that we wish to see in the world. So go on your journey, and let's make this world a better place.
Fantastic. I could not have said it better myself. Miss Raja there in the chat saying you're a real change maker, and I couldn't agree more. So thank you for sharing all of the fantastic things you're doing in your classroom and beyond. Yeah, it's been fantastic to hear from you both, and I'm sure we'll see you very soon. So thank you both. See you soon. Bye-bye. Amazing. Yeah, I think that project is so fantastic. And as I mentioned, they've kindly shared templates to the whole project as a whole. You can see the Adobe templates. So make sure you do go and check out the collection with all of those resources in. Because yeah, it's a fantastic project, and like I said, it's creative, critical thinking, all of that good stuff all combined, and then you can tie it all together in a Wakelet collection, which is fantastic to see. So thank you to our speakers just then. We do have more sessions coming up throughout the day, so we've got a little break now until our next session, where we're going to be joined by some very special educators talking about how they've integrated esports, Minecraft, and all of that awesome game on stuff in the next session as well. So you don't want to miss that one. You can have a little break for now and then jump back to check out that session. And remember, we do have that competition running. So all of the wonderful things you've heard in this session, go and share them on social, and shout about them, and use that hashtag Wakelet Community Week. And of course, a massive thank you to our sponsors as well, who we do actually have a session later on with ClassLink. So don't forget to check that one out as well. But for now, thank you all so much for joining us, and we'll see you on the next session. Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.